If you hear me on YouTube, please let me know. I can hear myself, so I think that's a good sign. Thank you, Mr. Thomas. All right, I'll be back in a minute after the disclaimer stuff.
Risk disclosure statement. There is a risk of loss in trading stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, derivatives, options, forex, and cryptocurrencies. This risk can be substantial, and therefore investors should carefully consider their financial suitability prior to trading. Past performance is not indicative of future performance. The software, strategies, chat rooms, websites, and any associated websites or digital venues are for educational purposes only and should not be construed as an express or implied promise or guarantee that you will profit or losses may be limited in any manner whatsoever. Users of the information accept sole responsibility for the outcomes of their deployment in most Stops and Trader, LLC, and any associated companies, agents, management, owners, and customers farmers without reservation. Please trade responsibly. Commodity Futures Trading Commission, CFTC, Rule 4.41, hypothetical and simulated trading performance results have certain inherent limitations, some of which are described herein. No representation is being made of any accountable is likely to achieve profits or losses similar to those shown. In fact, there are frequently sharp differences between hypothetical or simulated performance results and the actual results subsequently achieved by any particular trading program. One of the limitations of hypothetical performance results is that they are generally prepared with the benefit of hindsight. In addition, hypothetical trading does not involve financial risk, and no hypothetical trading record can completely account for the impact of financial risk in actual trading. For example, the ability to withstand losses or adhere to a particular trading program in spite of trading losses or material points which can also adversely affect actual trading results. Because these trades have not actually been executed, the hypothetical results may have or overcompensated for the impact, if any, of certain market factors such as lack of liquidity. There are numerous other factors related to the markets in general and to the implementation of any specific trading program which cannot be fully accounted for in simulated trading or in the preparation of hypothetical performance results at all, of which can adversely affect actual trading results.
This trade room and its webinars are not intended to mirror my trades or to give specific recommendations. The analysis themselves, I share trades and potential trades that I take for myself based on my personal analysis. The goal of the service is to teach traders how to identify specific areas of trades and manage themselves, but ultimately decision is yours. Trading is extremely risky, and if you decide to follow my personal trades, you do so at your own risk and potentially lose your entire account and even more. I thought it was profitable and I put 2 drawdowns on my trading accounts. The spreadsheet that I have access to is my personal spreadsheet that I use to add zone values and ADR values, and I'll need to put exact prices for my trades. You can see when I add zone prices into the master spreadsheet as well as the prices of the trades, whether you want to long or short. You have the ability to copy the spreadsheet and enter your own values and use mine to confirm zone prices until you're able to draw the zone correctly yourself. The spreadsheet is not telling you which direction trade is, it has entry prices and stop prices for both long and short positions depending on which way you personally decide to trade. All right, good morning. On here, may have a plus reversion trade. We'll go over. I want to get this on this account, and of course I'm missing it.
Order filled.
So this is one of our strategies that we take as far as we have position trading strategies and we have ATR reversion strategies. We'll go over these, but this was an A plus where you get your entry at or near the zone with your stop on the other side. So I missed this a little bit, but I got it on. Hold on here. Just want to see where my stop is. I'm going to put on the wrong contract, of course.
Order filled.
Hold on 1 second here. I put it on the wrong market. So it's probably not going to come back here, but if it does, let's see, 2025. My stop is down here. So this is the zone drawing tool. We'll get into all this. I'm just trying to get this trade and I just missed it. So it's very unlikely to fill me again because I thought I put on the right market and I put in yes. All right, so I did get filled on it. So we'll go over this trade. I'm long. Just quick, this is more of a scalp trade here, and I'll be out at 46 quarter if it gets up there. 1 second. All right.
Order rejected.
Whoops. All right, that's working. All right, we'll go over that trade here in a second. So this latest setup in NASDAQ is a bearish setup. So you saw these stop runs up here. Putting on a position trade short here actually. Yeah. So this was so I have important areas where I to look for these real-time volume events, right? So one of my trading strategies is called the IZZY inflection zone. So these zones I draw on the chart are based on important areas of the structure bar charts. I need to get my drawer here. So anyway, that volume event was kind of through this, so I'm not going to take that as an IZZY. You know, if it was a little lower, I would have taken it. So there's really nothing for me to short for my strategies off of this event. All I have on right now is a quick reversion trade. So the reversion trade is I don't usually take them on the webinars, but this one was, you know, this market is vertical right now. So these are really good trades in that condition. But this was a volume event, so obviously lots of activity here, right? So many times these markets will come back to the zone. These guys are caught, and that helps propel the market out of that area as they get out of their trades, right? So the shorts here, this is just hypothetical thinking, but it happens all the time. And all my stuff that I do is based on when I was a large scalper, right? So how I would react if I got short in here and it did one of these, and I just be praying it would come back. When it came back, I would get out. So you add that onto the propensity for these markets to come back to these volume events with ridiculous regularity, kind of like this one did. So that's the reversion trade. I got that on right now, but that's just a quick scalp type trade. I don't usually take these on these webinars because it's too labor intensive where you're in, you're out. I'm more focused on these webinars on the trading strategies, position trading strategies, which are these. So again, these are just my important areas where I will put on these trades, or I look for volume events to put on these trades. So we'll go over some of my trades from earlier too. I had a couple winners, couple losers, caught a nice gold short, and then got ticked on a crude trade. We'll go over all those here in a second, just seeing what we're looking like here. Okay, so there's really nothing for me to short off of this event, so I'm just letting that reversion trade work. If it comes down, stops me out. Actually, I could put on another one here if I wanted to, but my stop here is 81. All right, so that's in. Other than that, I'm short Russell currently still. So I rolled the dice here. You know, I put this on. First of all, this buy ice. This is a broken ice event. Hold on, let me see what's firing off here. You can hear the zone chart talking, right? So it's telling me. It's telling me, you know, when these, we call him Bookmap Bob. He tells me when these areas are drawing, and then with the zone drawer, it tells me when it, you know, confirms the area or what I'm looking for in my trades as far as long or short. So we'll go over all this. I'm just trying to get my bearings here. Anyway, this was a broken ice event into the open, and there was Fed talk too. So I took a shot with this trade. You know, when Fed guys start talking, you're rolling the dice. It's just like new information hitting the market. You're just hoping that it's not against you. But this was too good to pass up. These are the best Izzies. We already talked about inflection zone trades. You can see this gapped up straight into the zone with that buy ice. So buy ice is normally, you know, that's the big money buying, right? So they're right more often than they're wrong, but they are wrong. And in this case, they were wrong. Again, you don't know exactly what they're doing. They could have been getting out of shorts, so on and so forth. You're wasting your time trying to guess what these guys are doing. What you need to understand is these areas that are drawing on the zone drawing tool based on the SI indicator are showing you areas of large participation, aka trap traders. So in this case, somebody came in and bought this and didn't work out. So I took the Izzy trade. That was the first move out of that zone. Took it aggressively, sat through the Fed speak, and now you can see these new volume events are coming in. So this is how I trail my stop, right? So I actually should be out of a couple here into this spot gamma level. Hold on. So we got spot gamma level. And let's see here. And VWAP and the bottom of this market profile composite. So we have confluence. So this is me paying myself as the market makes money available to me, right? So I got short up here, wrote this down. This is spot gamma level, VWAP, market profile composite low. I'm out of 3/4 of my trade. Now what I do is I trail my stop to this activity, right? So you can see it was sell ice, sell ice, sell ice. So usually this is probably one house. So this actually was a lot here. This was, wow, that's a lot. So this is over 1,000 sell ice right here. So I'm going to combine these two zones, and then I'm going to trail my stop to this event, and then I could trade off of this event independently as well, depending on where we're at, so on and so forth. I believe this is a pick trade, potential pick long. We'll go over that. But first of all, I have to trail my stop. So this is the zone drawer. Everything's on here for you. You know, before we used to have to draw the zones manually, and then we would have to enter in the zone prices in the spreadsheet, and it would give us these values. Well, the zone drawing tool gives us the values automatically. So if I'm going to stop out of this trade, so the way I do this is I force the market. I don't just jump in and out when I get in a volume event, right? I did that in the very beginning, 7 years ago when I started using these things. And I learned the best way to trade these is to wait for the markets to show their hand, meaning they could push an ATR out of the zone. That's that blue line. So for me to get out of this trade, it's got to push an ATR out, plus we've come up with 15% of an ATR. So it's an ATR plus 15%. I will stop out of this trade, and I will potentially go long here. So once again, volume event, 1,000 sell eyes at an important area. These are one of my important areas. This is the pick trade profiles encourage. Okay, so that reversion, A plus reversion worked perfectly. There you go. I don't mean to be jumping around here, but this is what the trade is, right? So hopefully my trade room caught this one. This one was a layup. There's your entry. Your stop was here. It's got to fight through that whole thing for you to be wrong, for the trade to be wrong. And we already know the propensity to come back. And so you had that supporting it, and then that. So these are A plus reversions. You can take the reversions blindly without anything else there. They still work. You got to take as many, you got to take them all if you want to let the edges play out. Well, this is now programmed with a trading firm that's backing me, and my developer that's developed the zone jar, and this is trading automatically. So this trade actually better fired off at the trading firm. I'll check it when I get off this webinar, but that's the only reversion trades that are working with the trading firm are the A plus, meaning you get entries back into prior events. So that worked perfectly. Back to Russell. I'm going to go long here a pick if this moves out of here. So the pick is this. Profiles encourage pick. Take any trade that moves out of a market profile, composite high or low, right? So I also post on Twitter when I'm putting on these trades, or when I have these trades. I try to do a trade of the day every day. So this was a pick trade the other day, I think. Let's see, no, this one right here. I know this looks all jumbled, but if you actually let me put this order in before I start showing you guys stuff, because it's already ripping onto that area. I don't know what I'm doing here. All right, I need to be long right now, and I'm going to get stopped out of my short, which is fine. I'm still profitable, and this is how I trail my stops. So I got out of some down there where I was talking about. Now I'm going to go long the pick trade here, and it gives you, based on your risk level, we'll go over that, but it tells you the exact position. So I could put on 6.6 of a full contract or 6 micros, right? So if you can only trade one, if your account size only allows you to trade one contract, you're much better off trading micros, because you can peel out. It's not all or nothing when you decide to get out of the trade. So let me put this on 2331.7. All right, so again, I was short off of this. I got out of some down here for those reasons I talked about, and now new event, 1,000 sell ice. It's already proven to be a bullish event, meaning it was able to push the ATR out of here, right? So my pick trades are usually aggressive trades, meaning I will get in first move out. You see it didn't fill me yet, and it's probably going to do one of these, right? And then there's other strategies I potentially put on. But if this does not come back, which many times in these important areas like the market profile composite, it will not retest. That's why I get in the trade aggressively, just like I got in the Izzy aggressively up here where I didn't wait for the retest, and this is exactly why. So it never retested. We have trades for that pattern, but in important areas like those Izzies, I take the trades aggressively most times, meaning I don't wait for the retest. We'll go over trades that I will wait for the retest, but this is a pick. I'm not waiting for the retest. This might be an Izzy trade too. I did not look at this, which is not smart. This is an Izzy trade, so I will go long Izzy as well. Hold on here. That's 129. All right, so that's working too. So this was the Izzy I took earlier, short. Now it's moved. It went a little outside these zones. Remember, these are zones; they're not exact prices. That was close enough. I will take that Izzy long too if this comes back and fills me. So pick an Izzy longs in Russell, and you can see this liquidity up here, almost 100%. That's going to fill. So we'll watch that very closely to get out of some of these if this starts motoring up. And you got that prior event too. So these are all areas I get out of my trades, and we'll go over this as I do my rants a little bit. pay myself as the market makes money available to me. So as it hits these important levels, and I'm very consistent with this, I peel out of some of my trades. So this is the whole point, is when I'm telling you, don't trade just one contract where you're all or nothing. You know, this starts motoring up. I got 0.6 on, so I got 6 micros on, right? You just times it times 10 to get your micro size. I can get out of 2 or 3 up here, and then, you know, if it keeps rolling, I still have some on instead of out of the full boat, right? So I haven't been filled yet. You'll hear that fill if I get filled there. So I just want to see. So for some of the strategies I use, we call this algo guy as an exponential moving average. So when the blue is the shorter term exponential moving average ribbon, so it's just different time periods for the shorter term and longer term. When the blue is above the red, it's bullish. When the blue is below the red, it's bearish, right? So you can see this has basically stayed, bounced off a longer term. This is NASDAQ again. So if this crosses, then I can start looking for shorts for other strategies. But right now, this is bullish, so I can't take my Barks blind ATR retest confirm of those volume events or licks and so on and so forth. So there's nothing up here for me to do short off of that event. So I just have to sit here and watch. And I can't go long off of this last stop event because it already confirmed as a bearish event, right? So for me, for the way I trade, there's nothing for me to do off of this. Then I already took the reversion. So, all right, I just filled on the Russell Longs. So I filled there, 2133.8. My stop's down here. So the way I trade these is, and I don't like watch it go here and then move my stop up, right? The only way I'm going to move my stop up if I see an opposing volume event, kind of like I did with this guy, right?
At 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time, we get weekly PIA natural gas change.
Let me turn this down. It's throwing me off a little bit. So anyway, I'm watching this area up here to get out of some of these. If it motors up there, other than that, my stop's here. So this is how I trade these, right? So I'm risking all the way back. If I'm going to be wrong on this trade, and so I don't get algoed, and you can see all the algos in here, right? You see how they're putting in orders, pulling them, putting them, and pulling them, right? This is what this is designed to avoid, where I don't let these little blips where nothing's going on stop me out of my trades. So I'm in there. For me to be wrong, it's got to move an ATR back to the zone. It's got to get through the zone, and it's got to move outside of an ATR to stop me out. And that's how I stay in trades. And this all adjusts. Your sizing, position sizing, adjust based on the size of the zone and the ATR, average true range. So the average true range, I'm using a 5-minute Wilder's ATR, and that's just telling me the current volatility. So the two most important things in trading are real-time volume events and the volatility, right? So I'm adjusting, and this just automatically to tell me how many I can put on based on where I'm going to stop out if this trade turns out to be wrong, right? So 2117.9 is my stop for these Russell Longs. Excuse me. Get this in here. I got pick and is he on? All right. So now I just let it work. I want to watch this area closely. Let's get some tick strike going too. If you guys got questions, throw them in the YouTube channel, please. I don't see Discord while I'm on the webinars. Let me post this too before I forget. We'll go over these. So there's the drawing tool. We'll go over each one of these. And there's my course. There's a spreadsheet that you can get if you're not a member of my trade room. If you're a member of my trade room, you get these IZZY zones in the spreadsheet for free. But if you can't get in there, you can get access to it. Let me put this in the YouTube room. Excuse me. Guys, let me get back to... This should work here. Alright, hopefully you guys can see that. Let me see what you guys are saying in here. Trying to get in Discord, but no success. All right, you guys are basically just talking technical stuff. So anyway, we'll go over this. The other thing I want to keep an eye on here is Hero. So this Russell trade is just hovering at my entry. So Hero, this is the spot gamma Hero. This is telling me real-time options activity. Very important information. These guys are a big player, meaning these options dealers have to hedge their options activity with futures, right? So it's very important to know what's going on with this. Many times they're not the only game in town, but a lot of days they are, right? So the best way to tell that, actually I didn't see all these flow alerts either. Hold on here. So this is a great thing that he talks about. When you see these flow alerts, I'll just move this up a little bit. Don't use this like as a relative, like a divergence type of thing, right? I can move this down here. It looks one way. Just what you need to understand is just the direction that it's moving, right? So what he talks about with the options flow, when you see this flow, that's heavy. That's a heavy options activity, and it's usually a fade, right? So the minute the thing starts to like normalize, meaning it stops going up, then the market usually will turn around, and you can see that the white line is the market. So that was this here. You can see right now, because there's no relative volume flowing through here, meaning the big money is not in here right now. So the options flow is running the show, these dealers hedging, right? So you can see this is doing exactly what the options flow is doing, right? Here's another flow. So this was moving up. According to him, when it kind of levels out, then the market will move lower. I don't have a trade per se for this exactly. We are working on a couple different strategies with this, but it's important information. But there is a trade coming here where it's going to be a more where you don't have to wait for ATRs out of the zone. You just jump in automatically. But anyway, just we'll watch this to see if this does pull back after this. Hold on, guys. All right, sorry about that. Struggling with the throat clearing today. All right, so anyway, we'll keep an eye on it. I don't have a trade. I'm not doing anything with it, but just note it, right? We'll see what happens here. If this, this is leveling off, according to him, that's the big options flow, and then you fade it. So you can imagine the power of this information with the Stop Iceberg events. That's a whole nother strategy that's coming. We have added a new strategy, so I got a course coming out soon that's going to cover all these strategies in depth, and it's going to be continuing education type of thing. So if you get the course as I add strategies, and there's probably about 50 more coming, you'll get an alert and you'll get access to the new strategies I add these. But this is the most recent one. This is an auto fade. Took one of these yesterday. TikTok trade. Take any fade trade on an NYSE tick extreme or NASDAQ. So YM or ES for that one, or a NASDAQ tick extreme. So what you're looking for there, we may put it on, we may not, we might have it. There was an extreme earlier, but there was nothing there in ES anyway. There was no volume event. But the whole idea of that trade is, say the market hits the extreme. So this is just the NYSE tick. This is the stock universe. When you get plus 1,000 or more, that's telling you that's program buying, and a lot of times it's a quick fade type of trade, right? So if this touches this, the extreme tick, we get a volume event, we jump in immediately. And then the same thing on the downside. We'll go over it if it happens, but it's the only time I ever jump in these trades right off the bat, meaning right when the event hits. So just a heads up, if that happens, we'll put it on. But other than that, the rest of them, I wait for the patterns where it's got to push the ATR out, get it at 115% of an ATR to enter, so on and so forth. So, but the point is, there's more strategies coming. The next one's probably going to be an auto fade hero trade. So that's the next one in the hopper. All right, let's see what else is going on here. Again, if you got questions, throw them in the YouTube channel. Let's see what we got here. So a lot of grain activity. I'm not going to trade grains right now. If it dies down, then I will jump over to grains, and you guys should be doing the same thing. So someone actually asked in the Discord yesterday, he said, what do y'all think about focusing and trading only one single instrument? yeah, and if you want to learn what you're doing, but you're doing yourself a disservice focusing on one or two, like just the ES and NQ, because when those markets are dead, you have all these events firing off, and that's the beauty of the zone drawing tool. You don't even have to be scanning all these markets, right? I can hear it, and it gives me the text message of the stuff that fired off, and I can just say, oh, okay, so equities are dead. Let me jump over to soy meal, and you can see like these zones will be drawn. There you go, tons of buy ice in here. The market ripped away from it. So the point is, you can be monitoring other markets, and if you hear these events, you can jump over there and trade these because it's all the same stuff. It doesn't matter what market you're trading as long as you know the threshold, meaning the tradable amount of volume that's worthwhile in this market. They're all the same patterns. Why? Because we're just looking for areas of trader initiating contracts where there's a lot of traders invested in that area. When the moves away, we take advantage of it moving away, and we take advantage of it coming back too. But the point is, this is what we're looking for, and it doesn't matter what market you're talking about, right? So you guys have seen me lately. Back to the Twitter stuff. All right, another. We'll come back to this stuff. There's another stop run in Q. Russell is ripping. So now I think this is, no, maybe, I don't know if this is any trade yet. Let's see here. Of course, lost my chart like I always do. Bear with me here. You can see the tick strike here. So this is very helpful for me. It gets really annoying when you're hearing it, when you're listening to it go against your positions. It's not so fun. You get to watch and listen to your positions go against you. That's not fun, but I've been using this thing for 15 years. Very important to alert me of other markets firing off. As far as this is basically a meter of what goes from 1 to 15. I have mine all set at 11, so it's not going to make any noise. Right, that's the natural gas number. So it's not, if it gets 11 or higher, which is extreme buying or selling, it's going to alert me, and then that tells me about other markets. It tells me if they're buying these FANG stocks, so on and so forth. Very important part of my trading. Again, in this document here, everything I use is in here, and everything in here you basically get a discount to. Click on the links and you get discounts. So tick strikes down here, Trader Sync, Spot Gamma. We'll go over some of these as we get into them. The Apex, very important. We'll go over that. All right, what did I just fill on there? What was that fill? I think I got. I don't know what that was. I think I still had something left over from my other trade, but it's fine. I'm already long. Russell was another account. So anyway, I'm watching this area closely for Russell. We'll come back to NASDAQ here in a second. Right, I'm actually going to put these in right now because I'm on these webinars jumping from market to market. So I'm going to put my order. This is almost 100%. This liquidity is going to get filled. So I'm going to put a little bit of my order on long 6. I'm going to put 2 to get out right here. That's close enough to this prior event too. It could rip right through there, but I don't want to miss the tag of it and then have it come all the way back. And I'm sitting here and I'd say, oh, I forgot to get out of this trade. So I'm going to get out of some of these right in front of this liquidity. Remember, you don't have to. This is one of my areas. Struggle to get through resting liquidity. So there's 2 areas up here where I consistently get out, pay myself as the market makes money available to me. Struggle to get through resting liquidity, heavy resting liquidity. That's just orders in the order book that are outsized, and then same day prior SI event. So we got 2 things up there. So I will get out of a couple up there, and I'm just going to put my order in just in front of it, 2138.8. It's probably going to get up there as I'm putting these orders in. And that is 120. Sorry guys, give me a second here. I'm trying to. All right, we're here right now. So see how it's running away? I'm just going to get out of some of these right here. Come on. So what happened? This is why I say you don't have to wait for the fill, right? I'm getting out of these. Okay, so I still have 4 on. So you see, it's got up here. These algos pick up this size in the order book, this outsized order, right? That's that. And they try to run it away. That's why I say you don't have to wait for the fill. It's probably going to fill it. And if these guys have any worth, these guys with this order, they'll start buying and push it right into this is the game I used to play all day, every day, guys, when I was a scalper, right? In the ES, I'd put like 1,000 here, and it would look like that. If I had Bookmap, I would have made about 10 times what I made back then. But regardless, I would put this order in the order book. I would start buying down here. As it got close to my order, I would just start throwing in buy orders, and it would be spinning around like people are like, oh, look at all this buying, let me jump in. And it would run right into my 1,000 lot order out of the trade, right? So everything I'm doing in here is based on my past experience as a large scalper and how I would react when I was right, when I was wrong. Back then, you could see counterparty, meaning I could see who I was trading against, and I could see how they would react, so on and so forth. So everything that I'm doing in here is not hypothetical. It's actually what I used to see in the markets, and I've watched millions and millions and millions of orders flow through the market. I used to average 1 million trades, round turns a month. I used to average 50,000 a day, and that's when the ES was only trading 500,000 in a day, right? So my point is, I've seen a lot of market action, right? So it would behoove you to listen to me when I'm explaining what's going on in here, and it takes me great joy to help you guys beat these algos and these firms that are trying to take your money. This is a zero-sum game. There's a winner, there's a loser. Most retail traders are losers because the big money is just taking your money, right? So if you understand what's going on in here, you have a fighting chance. If you are just trading off of indicators and lines on a chart without ignoring real-time volume and how they trade around these areas, you do not have all the information, and you're very, very likely not going to make it. So again, you could be a profitable trader without this stuff. I say it every webinar, but you don't have all the information. If you're a profitable trader already, and then you add this in, now that's when you're gonna take off, in my opinion. So, all right, so let's check out where we're at in NQ here. I gotta keep losing this damn chart. Hold on. It's unbelievable how often I lose these charts. Because Thinkorswim sucks. All right, here we go. So there's nothing here for me for a short, right? We're through the Izzy zone. This is the same reason I didn't take a short off of the last one, which turned out to be a good call. Because there's nothing there. Let's see, do we get anything on market profile composites? No, this is a single day, so I only draw these, and we'll go over these. We'll come up with, I'll give you examples on how I draw these. This is one day. I don't draw one single day. The areas are still important, but they're not like when you get a composite, meaning like this is the last 2 days here. We obviously gapped up, but the tops and bottoms are very, very important areas, and that's where I look for my trades for this particular trading strategy, right? So there's nothing for me to short right here. The only thing I can do here is potentially go long. So what am I waiting for there? You can see I'm not just jumping in along here. Algo guy's bullish. Very bullish. You can see here. So this is my filter to go long certain trading strategies, aka bark and lick. Right? Bark, blind ATR retest confirm, and the lick is just a blind ATR. It's a bark that you're just shooting for the heavy liquidity, kind of like we were seeing in Russell there. Anyway, everything's bullish, but do you see me jumping in along? No. I need to see the pattern that I've watched for 7 years and about 4 million of these things. I need to see an ATR move out of here, show me this is a bullish effect. Then I need to see the retest. Then I need to see the confirm, meaning it gets the ATR plus 15% out of there. And then I will go long there, and then my stop will go down here. Just over and over and over and over. I just keep doing the same things because it just keeps doing the same thing. So if this tags this 19.51850, 19.51850, that's the ATR right now. You can see it right there. Let's make sure this is lined up. This is the Thinkorswim, pretty much spot on, right? You're talking with the third, fourth digit. So the ATR, what is the ATR? It's the volatility. It's telling me that right now, NASDAQ is rotating about 30 points every 5 minutes. Very, very important. So I talk about it all the time. These traders that say, I like to trade, when I trade NASDAQ, I risk 10 points to make 30 points. That's what I do, right? That's great, but that's you imposing your will on the market. The market doesn't care you want to risk 10 points. The market cares the current ATR. And I'm telling you, if you're trading where you're only risking 5 or 10 points in NASDAQ and you have a 30 ATR, you are very likely going to get stopped out just on random ATR rotations. So that's why we do what we do with this ATR. So anyway, Bookmap Bob will announce to us if this turns into a log setup, and then I'll look for strategies off of that. Other than that, for me, for this area, there's nothing for me to short based on my trading strategies. So we'll just let that develop. You can see this Russell finally filled that liquidity. Surprise, surprise. So they did their job. They got more up here too, by the way. I got out of some here. The rest I'm still trading. So the way I will get out in important areas. I'll piece out, but I always leave a portion on to try to get to the major Ludwig level. These things are the second most powerful thing I've ever seen in my trading career. Right, and this one's way up here. We also had the market profile composite low right there too, where I got out of some of these. So anyway, now I have 4 left. Those 4 are going to stay on until we get to the red lug and or an opposing volume event. I may get out of 1 or 2 more if it struggles to get through this liquidity up here. Other than that, I'm trying for the red lug and or where I always get out of all my contracts. If it comes up here and we get an opposing volume event and turns bearish, then I'm out. You saw that with the short I was in from the open pre-market actually. I was short, got out of a couple down here. We had a volume event that turned bullish. I got out, right? That's how I do it. I see you guys got any questions. Could be a red rum on RTY, not combine all the sell ice. Because the second batch was, 1,000. I don't think you needed to bring that up for another 100 and, plus they were spaced out. So one of the guys asking me in the trade and the questions here. Let me turn this off. Right, so this happened at 9:01 Central, 7:01 my time, and the rest of this came in 7-8 minutes later, right? And this was 1,000. I didn't think, this basically trumped that. So you could have made it 1. It's just going to be a worse entry. This was enough for me in this area to just make this its 1 zone. So that's what I did, and it worked, and I got out of some already. So if you want to be safer, you could combine them. I just didn't think it necessary. This was 1,000 by itself, so I didn't have to bring this up another 30 ticks to add in this zone when it was only 160. See what I'm saying? So that's why I did it that way. Some of this stuff's, most of the stuff we're doing is black and white. Sometimes you got to make decisions. I'm sure we'll have it today, but the better you get at these and understand, watch them, then you can make much better educated guesses. Bray Hurley, very cool. Bookmap is a crazy tool I play with. I haven't been able to make profitable. 15 years, you're definitely a pro at Bookmap. I haven't been trading with Bookmap for 15 years. I've been trading for close to 25 years. I've been using Bookmap for 7 years. And again, I got knocked out of the business, right? I was a multi-million-dollar scalper. Thought I was set for life. And this is, 2001 to 2005. Made millions of dollars for my trading firm, and then overnight disappeared. Couldn't make $1. So I spent another 6-7 years holding on. 2013-ish, I finally had to say uncle and get out of the business because I just could not make money as a scalper anymore because the computers took over and the algos, and I was one of the fastest clickers, in the world, but I was not as fast as a computer, so I got knocked out of the game. 2013, had to leave. Fast forward to 2017, Dr. Britt Steenbarger, who wrote the book Enhancing Trader Performance, and you can see all this stuff on my web. It's in this document. If you go to my website, right? So this is here. Where are we at? Go over here. This is all the stuff on there is on here too, right? There are all these little screenshot thingies, whatever they call these. Click on them for the discounts. But anyway, here's the book, right? So Dr. Brett sat behind me, asked if he can sit behind me for a year because the prior year I made $10 million trading the ES in 2003. He was writing this book, and it's about trading, but it's about what makes elite performers elite. So like talks about Michael Jordan in the book, so on and so forth. So he said, can I sit behind you to see what makes you tick? Not so much can I see your strategy, because he couldn't even tell anyway, because I was flipping. He didn't really know what I was doing. He just wanted to see what made me great, right? So again, fast forward to 2017, and he called me and said, hey, I saw this software called Bookmap, and it reminds me on how, when I sat behind you, how you used to view the market as far as the orders, because I just used to stare at this. It doesn't get much simpler than that, right? I didn't even have charts up most of the time when I was scalping. So he's like, you want to check it out? The minute I saw the way this was laid out, with the orders and the liquidity, and this was before the SI indicator. I'm like, I'm back. This is what I needed to get back in the game, right? And then I got introduced to this. Bruce kept telling me about the SI indicator, and this is, you know, enhanced data from the CME, and this is just my personal opinion. I feel like the retail trader was dying in 2015, 16, 17, where it was shark eat shark in here, and I think they released this information, this enhanced data, to kind of throw a bone to the retail trader to give them a kind of a heads up and make better decisions, right? So anyway, Bruce kept talking to me about it, or telling me about it, and I'm just like, yeah, I'll look at it. It's like literally 3-4 months before I finally looked at it, and the minute I saw it, I'm like, oh my God, this is the most powerful thing I've ever seen in futures trading. To this day, it's the most powerful thing I've ever seen in futures trading. That's why my whole methodology is based around trading these volume events, right? And it's just common sense. These are showing where the big money's playing. The big money's in here. There's someone on the other side of it. We're looking for someone to be right, someone to be wrong. In this case, so today, paper's not doing very well today, right? They bought a bunch up here. Again, you don't know exactly what they're doing. You just got to assume they're initiating positions. I don't care. All I know is how the markets react to these areas. We already talked about that, right? So they came in and bought here. Didn't work out really well. Came in, sold here. Didn't work out really well, right? So again, when this first came out, when I started doing webinars for Bookmap on this, the Bookmap competitors, which there's basically none. No one compares to Bookmap, period. I haven't seen one that's even close to what Bookmap offers. But they were trying to discount the stuff I was doing in here, thinking I was saying, oh, here's some bias, that means we automatically go along. No, we have a strategy. It's called Titanic. Again, look at my last Twitter feed. I think there was a Titanic yesterday. It was. Let's just show you here real quick. This was yesterday. There was a Titanic setup here in NASDAQ. Right? Trade of the day. Took NQ short mid-morning off a Titanic SI Stopberg event. That was this. Sell ice, so a Titanic, these are very technical terms too. When the market's moving, it's like runs into the iceberg, get it? Titanic, so this was sell ice. This case, paper was right? There's my Izzy zone. Look for the trade. Took it. Great trade. Got out at my usual areas, so on and so forth. So the point is, in this case, paper was correct. They came in, dropped a bomb into the market, and it said, oh, crap, and reacted. Today, in Russell, paper's not doing very well. So my point is, I just don't go short when I see, or I just don't go long if I see buy ice and go short if I see sell ice. I get my head ripped off a lot of the times, like today, right? We have a setup called broken ice. And again, a very highly technical term where paper's wrong. So all we're looking for is these areas where there's traders loaded up and we're taking advantage when they're wrong. That's it. It's that simple. Trading's not easy, but what I'm doing, I simplify it as much as I can. And that's all I ever tell you guys. The more crap you have on the chart, most likely the worse you're going to do. If you simplify it, use what's the driver of these markets, which is volume, and understand these volume events, you are on your way to becoming a proficient trader. Speaking of that, so there was just another, I love to show this stuff because nothing brings me more happiness. It's even better than the P&L stuff for me is when traders do well. So you can see here, so this is my room, right? You come in here and guys are posting, and here's Dune Runner. He's the number one guy in here. That guy's going to make it because he actually puts in the work. But anyway, you can see here, there's other guys making it too. I put in here yesterday, so there's the last couple. Guy here, I posted this yesterday. Take a moment to thank all you for your support. I started Scott's course a few months ago after diving in and practice, not a game. I already showed my Allen Iverson yesterday to my room when it was dead trade. I'm happy to share that I'm now a funded trader with Top Step. I've been here before, meaning I've been in this situation before and lost the account. I don't think he's talking about my room, but could be. This time is different. I stuck to my rules, didn't switch things up, and focused on just two strategies. So again, what I tell my room too, these strategies are not meant to come in my room and just start trading, try to trade all however many 15 strategies. It's take a couple of these, perfect them, get really good at them, and then add another one. And within a year, you should have 3 to 5 solid strategies that you just look for these strategies and put your trades on, right? After struggling to learn the skill for 8 years, again, he hasn't been in my room for a year, so he's just talking about trading skill. Scott's course, the daily reinforcement, and everyone's help here have been huge. So he's doing well. There's more in here too, right? So my point is, guys, it's if you focus on what we're looking at here and understand it and get good at it, you can become a profitable trader. There's this guy I'm still waiting. This is I call him KFC. It's KCF, but anyway, actually that didn't blow up. But you can see it on my Twitter page too. This guy's waiting for us. He's supposed to be paid today, actually. So he's supposed to let us know. He requested $3,000. The point is, guys, you can do this, right? This is not meant, this webinar, any webinar, to come in here and mirror my trades, right? When you get good at it, you'll be mirroring my trades because you'll be seeing the same things I'm seeing, right? But the point is, what I'm doing here is teaching you guys how to trade this stuff for yourself. That's what you want. You don't want a room, and I can't tell you how many traders that come in my room, they don't want to think. They wanted me to tell them buy here, sell here, right? I kind of do that, but I'm doing it so you guys can understand where to do it for yourself and learn this stuff so you are a self-sufficient trader. You're never going to make a living off of copying somebody's trades. It's just not going to happen, right? So if you don't want to put in the work, you're in the wrong business. These are the brightest minds on the planet. If you don't want to work at it, practice it, post screenshots, participate in the room when you come in there, you're not going to make it. So don't waste your time. Go back, work for the man, till you're 65 and then retire. That's if you want to make it, you got to put in the work. All right, that's my rant there. Let's see if you guys got any other questions here. Nothing's really going on right now, guys. So this flow came in and the market did not really turn yet. Again, I'm not trading off of this. We're just observing. It actually came in and kept ripping. But the market's kind of spinning here, so this is interesting too, right? Just for an observation. I don't have a trade here, but you had the flow kind of evened up, leveled off. Market moved a little higher. This ripped. Market's not really responding. So that could be the time. Now this starts to sell off. Oh, I didn't even see this, by the way. So this is perfect. Stop, run, in ES. I didn't even hear that because I was chirping here. I turned on my thing. Now, step one, identify. Bookmap Bob let us know this was happening. Right here, and so you get the alert, and then the text. Step one. Now let's see if this is an area that I put on trades. It absolutely is. This is an Izzy zone. So that's this guy, goes all the way back here. So I draw these zones, inflection zones, aka Izzy's, on the 4 important areas of charting: tops and bottoms of balance areas, high volume nodes of balance areas, directional conviction, buying and selling tails. Right? It's not that big of a tail, but there's one. I had a zone there, but I deleted them. So that's what the zones are drawn. You can learn to do these. It's not rocket science, right? But if you want them and not have to draw them every day, I'm already doing it for my own trading. That's why I post them. So these are a big part of my room. So many traders use these because they're very, very powerful areas. They're not my areas. They're areas, stuff that happened in the market, right? So this was the bottom of this balance. This is where this market launched from too. So you got a stop run event, Izzy zone. If this fails, I'm taking a short. And we just got the benefit of kind of seeing what Hero's doing too. So that's telling me this market might sell off. It doesn't matter what the hero is doing. I'm still putting on the short, but that just gives me confidence that if I put on the short, the hero starts motoring down. It's already kind of looking like a divergence. I can ride this for a bigger move type of thing, right? So I can put on 0.7 at 42.75. This is Izzy. Let's see if this is a pick trade too. Profiles encourage, another area. I get short. Not quite, right? If it was up here a little more, right around, if this moves up into another stop runs, 55.50-ish. It's 4 points away. You could. I'm not going to take an Izzy off of that. I mean, a pick off of that. If it moves up higher, I'll take it. Other than that, I got an Izzy. So, if this does motor down, at least I'll have something on trading strategy-wise. So I'm going to short at 42.75, so you can see this price here. The yellow line, so we're waiting for an ATR out of here and plus 15% of an ATR. That's where I get in. And the reason I do that because I've learned this again the hard way, where I would get in. First, I used to just jump in right away, and it was not very consistent. Then I said, okay, I'm going to get in an ATR, and then I learned that these algos love to snap it back in an ATR, so that's why we force it to push an ATR plus 15%. I'm going short, and this is dynamic, so you got to be changing it until you get filled. It's now 42.75. I can put on 0.7 or 7 micros. You can't put on 0.7 of a full contract. Once again, I would not recommend just trading one full contract. Put on 7 micros so you can get out of some as it motors your direction, in your direction. Let me put this in. I'm still on Mr. Russell too, so I'm going to have dueling positions there potentially. 42.75. All right, that is working. Jim Thomas said yes, yeah, that's what I just put on. He said that was a flow area. I didn't see a flow up here. Could be wrong. There was one earlier, but we just talked about this, and you see this, the options activity ripped, and this is kind of just hanging here. So this is what I was talking about, the divergent. It's just an observation, aka thesis. I don't have a trade for that. Watching that, here's my setup. I'll go short. Algo guy is bullish. So my Izzy's and my picks, you can see the Izzy zone right here too. I don't need algo guy confirmation because they're such powerful areas on their own. Because algo guy is fleeting. You know, many times lately it's been trending, but it can flip in a day. So the point is, I will put on picks and Izzy's regardless of what algo guy's doing. For my bark and lick trades, ATR retest confirm trades, this has to be in the direction. So this is not bearish. I don't have those strategies in play for this particular value event. The only thing I got going for this is an Izzy short. And I'm not short yet, right? It's got to push out of here. This is not confirmed either way. So say this holds, the stop run, this was a buy stop run, by the way, and those are usually fade trades because it's usually just traders puking out positions. But if this holds, it's called a stop and hold event where big money comes behind it and is able to power it higher. If it touches this, then I could put on bark and potentially lick. So I don't know what I'm doing here yet. I have this order working if this fails. But if this turns out to be a bullish event, then I got strategies for that. So we'll wait for that. So Mr. Russell is kind of struggling at this prior volume event. And this, see how it's struggling right there? This is why I got out. I already got out of, how many do I have on left? I still got 4 on. I'm going to get out of 1 more just because this has been struggling up here. That's that. And then 29. So we had Izzy and pick on, right? And I'm getting out of 1 more. I had 4 on. Getting out of 1 more here. So I got 3 left, right? So now I'm going to hold this thing. Red lug or an opposing volume event, right? So that is working. And then I have this short working. You can see they're starting to hit these Mag 7 stocks. Speaking of which, let's look at that hero. This is still at its highs. So the market's not, if this turns over, then these markets are going to get smushed, especially, yes, you see the S&P, the ES, this is just all it's SPY, SPX, all put together. But this is already turning over. Again, I'm not trading off of this, but I'm observing it, right? There's going to be trades for this, but I have my regular Izzy trade I'm putting on. About to get filled. NASDAQ has not shown its hand. Again, there's no short potential for me here. If it does confirm a long, meaning it touches the ATR, I could put on barks and licks there. So Bookmap Bob will let us know when that happens. What else is going on? Oh, so let me show you this. I caught this whopper here this morning. Gold trade. So this was a pick trade, and it was awesome. I mean, it was instant. Let's see. So that was this action here. So this was already telling me something because it had moved. Gold opened up, and it just ripped, and it went right through this. I don't think I waited for a retest. I think I just jumped in here just because I was, yeah. So I just jumped. Yeah, this is what happened. So these are the best picks, right? So this is what happened here. Especially when I saw this, right? So it just rips straight down through this market profile composite. This is 2 or 3 days, right? That divergent minimum of 2 days. It ripped right through there, came back, buy, stop, run. That's that. That's that. Move back out. Got short aggressively. First move out of this puppy, and I mean, this was instant. I got out. I mean, it was. I was thrilled with the trade, but I got out at blue lug, and it ripped right through the blue lug too. So, this it's kind of stabilized now, but, here we are. If I got a volume event, I would have no problem taking a short again, obviously. But the point is, the way this went right through here, the way it went right through the lug, like this is still looking bearish to me just from the way this responded to these things. And then when you get to the structure stuff, let's see what it looks like here. I don't have a real strong opinion here. So what I'm doing is I'm coming up with a thesis type of thing. So I take my trades long or short regardless. I'm a day trader. But if I get my thesis, aka my opinion, in the direction, of the volume event, then I'll trade bigger size. I'm not really seeing much here. You can see, well, shocker, it bounced off that Izzy zone. So I don't really have a strong opinion here. The only opinion I have is the way it ripped through all that stuff here. And I think, but you can see what's happening here too. Selling tail. There's another selling tail. This could be heading back down to this stuff. So I wouldn't really trade double-sized shorts here unless I like to structure stuff on top of the stuff I just showed you. But I am excited about a potential short. If we can get a stop run into the lug, that would be a slug strategy. If I got an event right here, I could take another pick like I took earlier. So keep an eye on gold. I am favoring lower, but I wouldn't necessarily take double size. So this was the reading, by the way, surprise here, right? This one kept going. So what I always say, right, the propensity or the odds of this coming back to these volume events without a new one forming is 70%, probably higher than that. It's probably 80%. We have ATR trades for these trades. So first of all, if you guys took these in my room, you shouldn't have been taking them because this was extremely heavy relative volume. We talk about that this is a disqualifier for the ATR trade, right? So you should not, and we'll go over these trades here. I took a couple losers, and there's my gold winner, and then I have those on right now. So anyway, when this moved lower here, the reversion trades are not supposed to be taken when you see this kind of relative volume. This is the big money unloading. You don't want to hope it algos back to these zones when the big money is unloading, right? So the point is, say the big money wasn't unloading and you lost on these trades, right? These are these dotted lines. So this is the 1 ATR. Here's the 2 ATR. Here's the 3 ATR. The dashed dot is the stop for the 1, stop for the 2, stop for the 3. So if you did take those, you got run over, but you shouldn't have taken them because of relative volume. But my point is, we have trades for the propensity for these to come back, 1, 2, and 3 ATR. Sometimes the market will go 4, 5, 6 ATR. The point is, it comes back to the zone. We just don't know how many ATRs to play, right? So that's why I tell my room, if you're going to take these that aren't A+, we already looked at an A+ earlier. Turn this down a little bit. If you're going to take these, you take as many as you can to let the probabilities play out. My point is, you would have been burned on those, but you shouldn't have put them on. The point is, it does come back to the zone, and look at that. I mean, are you kidding? This is what you see all day long. So this is just to illustrate this. So this is a potential bark and lick. The problem here is, algo guys pull bullish right now, so I can't put those on, right? So it did retest the zone. It looks like it's failing. Nothing to do there. I just wanted to show you, one, the trade, two, how the propensity to come back to the zone. And we have a trade for that. So in this spreadsheet and on the drawing tool, depending on the type of trader you are, if you're a position trader, this is this part of the spreadsheet. It's all on the drawing tool too. These are here's the strategies. If you want to be more of a scalper where you're taking the ATR trade, and we already saw a nice ATR winner in the A+ winner in NASDAQ earlier, then you can just focus on those, right? Traders doing both. I do both. I don't do the ATR trade very often, but if they're A+, I try to put on. You heard me put it on right when we got in the webinar, right? That was A+. Here's the 1. The stop for the 1 was down here. It had to get through that zone. You don't need this to take the ATR trades, but this is A+. That means they're better than normal. There you go. So again, this one was only 1 and it came back. Some of them are 2, some of them are 3, some of them are 6, right? So the point is they do come back to the zones. But if you're going to take them, you take them all, is what I'm saying. If you see them, if you're going to trade them. But you can just look for A+ers too. That's what I do most of the time because I can't keep up with all of them. That's why we have the trading firm. Here's another 8 right here. I didn't even see this. There you go. There's the 1 ATR. Well, look at that. Right back to the zone. Surprise, surprise. So this is actually not a long setup yet because it didn't touch the actual ATR. The 1 ATR trade is right in front of the ATR because I know from watching so many of these, this is what this has been programmed for, that these algos love to step in front of an ATR and snap it back. So that trade would have worked perfectly. This is still not a bullish event though, because it has not touched that. And just quickly for the ATR odds, my room moderator did this for the room a long time ago. But if you want to know what you need to do to aka break even and the ratios for this trade, right here. So the one ATR, which we've seen a couple times today, you have to be a 60% trader just to break even. Meaning it's got to come back 60% of the time, right? I think it's 70% or more. I know it is, and we're going to get exact stats with the trading firm that's running this eventually, right? Once we get a big enough sample size. But it's only taking A+ers too right now. We're going to have one that we're going to have a different variation that takes them all. That's in the hopper. Then we'll really know these. What is, you got to be 60%. That seems like a lot, but I'm telling you, it's 70, 80%. Figure it out for yourself. Go in there and trade them on Sim, trade them on Apex. Figure it out for yourself. But you got to be 60%. And it's only, you're risking 1.5 to make 1, right? So that's not, usually in trading terms, that's not what you're looking for. But if you have a trade that's 70, 80% and you take them all is the key. You don't pick and choose. You will make, that's a profitable strategy. The 2 ATR is a one risking 1 to make 1.38. So now you're talking, you only have to be a 42% trader to break even. So if you're 50%, you're doing very well. You're 60, 70%, which I say that's what it is. You're going to kill it with that strategy. And then the 3 ATR is you only have to be a 34% trader, right? And you're making 2 to 1 on your money. So you could just say, I'm just waiting for 3s and I don't take anything else. That's perfectly fine, but you're going to miss the times that the 1s work. Right? So if you're waiting for the 3 on this one, you missed the 1 worked, you never got the 3. If you're waiting for the 3 on this one, the 1 worked, you never got the 3. See what I'm saying? So you can wait for the 3s. They're going to be more few and far between. By the way, that was just a tick extreme. Could this be our TikTok trade? What just fired off there? That's Russell. So I'm not going to do Russell, but I am going to do ES. Here we go. Here we go. Here's the new TikTok trade. Right there. Let's just make sure that tick extreme was in ES. It was not. That was NASDAQ. So I can't put on the TikTok trade. So the ES, the YM, and the ES are related to this more. NASDAQ or the NASDAQ. So we didn't get us. If I got an event in NASDAQ, I put on the TikTok. So there's nothing for me to do TikTok right now for that trade. But you just have another stop run event here. Just more puking. There's another tick extreme. So anyway, remember I was working this Izzy? Well, now I can actually move it up off of this event. I'm going to combine these. I mean, you don't have to combine these. These were 10, 15 minutes apart. Actually, I'm sorry. Why is this not showing here? What's going on here? Where's my information? Here it is right here. So this is still in this Izzy zone. I'm going to take it off of that event instead. It's a better entry. You could combine them if you want. I don't, here we are. Right at the bottom of the zone. I'm going to take it. Now my entry is 44.75. It's just 2 points versus it was 43. It's 44.75 now. And I can put on 7. I'm just going to move my entry up. And we heard a new event in Russell. Now I'm going to trail my stop to the new event in Russell. Long. 44.75. That's working. All right, so we got something in Russell. Remember, I was long Russell. I just got to have another one. That was before. But now, so now I'm waiting for red lug, which was really far away. Now here's a new event. So now I'm going to trail my stop. You guys have been on the webinar. You've been watching this whole progression. All right, so my stop was here for this trade. Remember, I went long Izzy and pick. Got in there. Stop was here. Well, what do we have now? New volume event, buy ice. Stop is now moved, yellow line, to there. 2142.6. So this is how I trail my stops, and this is how I recommend you trail your stops, because you're trailing your stop based on something that happens in the market, not your self-imposed, oh, if this comes back, I want to make sure I break even. That's what the algos want you to do. Now I have a reason to trail it, right? 2142.6. And then we could take new trades off of this, potentially, depending, new strategies, depending on what happens here. 42.6. Right, that's working. So now let's see where we're at here for this event. That's an Izzy, right? It's already rejected out of here once, too. This is the Izzy I took pre-market. Remember that buy ice, that broken ice? That's what I took there. Here you go again. Here's buy ice again. Do you see me just jumping in on this trade? No, it needs to move the same place. I'm going to stop out of my pick and Izzy longs. I will stop out and I will go short Izzy and potentially a pick. See if there's a pick here too. My important areas that I place trades or look for volume events to place trades. Let's see. No, we're right in the middle of this market profile composite. So nothing for me to do short wise except for Izzy short. So I will get out of my Izzy long and flip into an Izzy short. Same price. It's now 2142.1. Any questions about what I'm doing? And I could put on 8 micros or close to one full one again. We already talked about not doing that. 2142.1. Remember, you got to adjust it until you're filled. So that's just moved because of the volatility. That's the wrong one, of course. Hold on here. All right, that's working. So I'll be out of my Izzy long and my pick long, and then I'll be into an Izzy short. If this fails, if this turns into a bullish event, AK hits the ATR line, then I can put on other strategies, long wise. Algo guy is. Did I miss a red rum here? Yeah, I missed a red rum strategy here too. So it's just another trading strategy. That's this one. I missed it. Didn't even see it, obviously. Red rum. Where are we at? Right here. Take fade trades and algo guy, red ribbon. Well, actually, it needed to be a buy iceberg and it was a sell iceberg, so I would have needed a retest, but that was this area. See how it's bounced off the red ribbon? We have a trade for that. There's an app for that. Just kidding. That's what they say. Hold on here. Yeah, so I would have needed, for that strategy, I need to buy ice or sell stops or an ATR retest confirmed, so I did not miss a trade there for my requirements for the trade, but that was, the stop run was into that red ribbon. I mean, that sell ice was into that red ribbon. So anyway, nothing, I have the short working, and then if it turns out to be a bullish event, which it will tell us, Bookmap Bob will let us know. It's a great thing about this zone drawing tool. It gets above here, then I can put on barks and licks. I don't know how much liquidity is up here, so we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Other than that, I'm working Izzy short here in, yes, I've not been filled yet, right? I'm trading off this stop of it. And then Nasdaq's just sitting here, is not proven bullish or bearish. If you did get this one, this would be an A+ reversion like the one we took earlier. The one ATR back into the stop run event. That would be, actually, you're not supposed to take those if it touched that, but it barely touched that one. I would probably still take that one. So we'll see. Those are reversion trades, guys. I don't want to confuse you because I'm jumping back and forth between the reversion trade and position trades. So we got a lot going on in grains here. I might trade wheat. All right, let's see if you guys got any questions. Easy short. Move stops on an RTY. Thank you, Mr. Thomas. Just did that. All right, so let's go over some of the stuff in here since the markets are doing nothing right now. Zone drawing tool, again, just click on these links, brings you to the Bookmap marketplace, right? And they're supposed to have fixed this, they didn't. So you go over here, click on this. Why is it not working? Why is it not working? All right, so it's not working. So it's kind of hard to get it if you can't click on the thing. There you go. So for some reason they see how it says 0. People are like, oh, wow, that thing's free. No, you got to click on monthly. I don't know why they have that. That's just, they were supposed to correct that. Anyway, this is for the basic version, but you get right now, you get the Beta Pro. It's still in beta, so that's where you get all the ATR lines and so on and so forth. And then, I forgot what else it has. It's besides the basic stuff. But anyway, you get that there. Bookmap Marketplace. Just a huge, you guys, I used to draw these by hand. If you watch any of my webinars the last 7 years, just a huge pain in the ass. This one alleviates that. You still need to know how to draw the zones, but very helpful. Here's the course. Again, I show this every week. I apologize for using that. You can see we showed that guy, the trader in my room, Murph. He's, said I got the course. I studied it, and he finally clicked for him, and now he's doing well. Hold on. So in the course is what explains everything that I'm doing as far as these SI events and the rules behind them. Right? Hold on here. Trying to pull this up. It's very slow today. So the reversion course has not been made yet because I put it on hold because we're trading with a trading firm and I don't want the stuff all over the internet. But if you come in my room, I talk about it just like I'm talking about it today. You can learn it. Anyway, so this is the course, right? Covers everything we're doing, everything I'm doing, right? Adding the bookmap and data feeds, news versions, update book the settings, the thresholds. So the zone drawer will pick up the thresholds on its own, but you can know them obviously for yourself, adjusting thresholds. All the settings, sweeps indicator, which I have turned off right now because there's a bug in it. The drawing of the zones. Again, you don't need to do this right now with the zone drawing tool, but you still want to know how to do it because there's times when you want to merge zones and so on and so forth. And this is a progression because we kind of drew them, that we were drawing them not correctly at first, or I was, and then this is a progression and the right way to draw them. They still work, but they were not exact, so now they're exact. And then here's all the setups we've been talking about. Dumb and Dumber, that's a stop run. That's usually a fade trade, just a dumb money puke, stop and hold, where you get a stop run. That's what this is looking like in NASDAQ, by the way. It's about to confirm bullish. This is a stop buy stop run. That's holding, stop and hold. I know, again, very technical terms. Titanic, we talked about that. Broken ice, we talked about that. Double whammy, that's when you get stop runs into the opposing ice. So buy stop runs into sell ice. Step rows is when you get, and this is like the sixth wonder of the world. It's like a unicorn. You don't see it very often. Buy stops with buy ice. Right, and then how to use the ATR. We've been talking about all this stuff's in the zone drawing tool, but you want to know how to use the advanced trading of zones, and then my pretty face. So that is the course. Again, you can come in my room and learn this stuff real time. I'm trading live. I don't have time to break it down step by step by step by step. So if you get the course, you learn the stuff, you jump in here, hit the ground running, right? But you can learn it without it. It's just, it's going to take you a lot more time. All right, this has confirmed a bullish setup. Let's see if he is. So if he is confirms bullish, then I'm canceling those Izzy shorts, obviously. It's got to touch the ATR. And again, Bookmap Bob lets you know, and it's on here. So this says long validated. Oh, it's talking about this prior zone. Again, I elected to not merge these. So if I did merge them, this is the validation anyway. So it hasn't quite gotten up here yet, but if it does, I can go ATR retest confirm. Other than that, this one has confirmed bullish. This one back here, right? This was the ATR line, and that's where it just touched. So I could, if this goes here, retest this first zone, I could take Barks and Licks off of that. And if this confirms, I'll take Barks and Licks off of that. So there's a little variation here. Either way, there is a potential long in play here, right? And then if this tags, I can go long here, or both. We'll see. See what happens here. And then I can't, if this does confirm up here, because I was going to go short off of this, it's got to confirm though, and then my short's canceled, right? So I haven't done anything yet. I'm just waiting to see for that event to show its hand. NASDAQ is bullish. Algo guy is bullish. Keeps bouncing off the red. Surprise, surprise. That's bullish. Barks and Licks are in play now. If he goes, here's your ATR. I'm waiting for the retest. There's nothing for me to do strategy-wise aggressive, meaning the first move out of here. So I'm going to wait for the retest. Does it mean it's going to retest? No, very, very likely. We just talked about that trade. It's already happened. 70% or more of the time it comes back to the zone. But this was not an official ATR when it did. What the hell? Hold on here. Sorry. Right? The ATR trade worked, but it actually didn't get to the ATR. Now it got to the ATR. So we do this. I'm putting on barks. You can see there's a lick up here. I'm sure there's more. Very likely going to hit that. And this market just continues to rip higher. So I'd be watching for this liquidity if I take the lick trade. So now we're going to wait for a retest. I will go along. So the hero is not, this thing keeps moving higher. There hasn't been a new alert, but this one didn't work. I didn't trade off of it, but I'm just, a lot of times it does react. Like I said, we'll have a trade for that, but keep an eye on that. I'm sure Max 7 just keeps making highs. There you go. That's why the markets just keep going straight up. These are the highest weighted stocks in the indices that the futures derive from. All right. All right, so show the course. Here's a spreadsheet website. If you can't get in my room, you get this for free in my room. But if you can't get it, you can get the spreadsheet. You can get the inflection zones. You can get them combined. So that's that. If you can't get in the room, some people have normal jobs. They can't get in there full time. Here's my website. Showed that. Here's if you want to get a hold of me. Here's my Twitter, where I've been posting a trade of the day. I'm trying to do it every day. Here's a trade room, right? So if you come in my trade room, you get all this stuff for free. You get discounts to the courses, mentoring. You get monthly, quarterly, or yearly. And obviously that steps up as the bigger subscription you get, the more discount you get off the stuff. That's that. And then here's this is all discount stuff. So you get the discount to the Global Plus membership for Bookmap. That's the basic software. And here's the MBO bundle, which you need to get the SI indicator. That you have to have this. I get this all the time. Do I need to get Bookmap and the MBO bundle to be part of your room? You don't have to, but it's the whole basis of my trading. So you can learn stuff, but it's not going to be worth your while, I don't think, unless you're using this stuff. Which you want to use this stuff because it's the most important thing in futures trading, in my opinion. Here's Apex, right? So I have all these trading strategies tied to Apex, these Apex accounts, right? So it helps me split out these strategies where we can get accurate stats, so on and so forth, right? So each one of these has its own Apex account set up to it. So this thing, guys, I keep talking about how much of a gift this is for you guys. When I was, when I got knocked out of the business, I couldn't afford to trade on my own anymore, and there was no options for me to be backed. Right, the only thing back then was one of them they're better now because they have to be because there's competition. But I'm not going to name names, but it was a joke. They weren't looking to fund traders; they were looking just for people to subscribe to the thing. So I would subscribe, and I subscribed, and I qualified. I passed the combine. Right, and then I passed it. And I'm like, oh, now you got to do the live combine. I'm like, what the hell was I just doing? It's live market thing. So then I passed that. Well, now you got to do the secret squirrel live. It's just like, you know what? You guys are full of crap. You're not looking to fund traders. They've since changed because they have to, right? They're in business still because now they have things like Apex. Apex is the one that I back. I've used this for 2.5 years. They've done everything they said they were going to do. I've been paid multiple times with them. We got guys in my room about to be paid. We'll keep you updated on that. I'll post it on Twitter for all the naysayers that they don't pay, blah, blah, blah. Guys, trust me, I would not be using the thing. And trust me, I mean, I'm not part of this company. I mean, you use the discount code and they just knocked off their 80% sale, but there's another one coming. But anyway, use this for whatever discount they got going right now is 71%. It might be 90% in a month. I don't know. Whatever it is, use the code Pulcini50. But the point is, guys, this is such a gift to have this where you don't need to be risking your own money while you're learning, or if you have a small account, right? If you're trading and you have to live off your trading, or you're not going to be able to feed your family, just take my word for it. It will never, ever, 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 ever work. Trust me. If you are stressed out on your trades and you're in a trade and you're like, oh crap, man, I got my car payment, my house payment. Oh, here's my groceries for the week. You're like, I got to get out, right? And then you miss that kind of trade. You're not going to think properly if you're trading off of your own money to support yourself, right? If you have disposable income that you can have a $100,000 account, there's guys in my rooms that do that as well. That's fine. But I'm telling you, if you are underfunded or not funded or practice, not a game, practice, get one of these. They're very cheap, right? So this is what it is normally. You can do the percentages off. As when you put on a trade like this one, you know, I don't know what it is now, 71%, but at the 80-90%, it was like $60, right? Just times 71% times 300, right? So when you're trading these, and you know, you put a trade on, even if you blow the account, you're only losing $60, right? Yeah, it's money, but it's not one. You have skin in the game, so you will trade these normally. And I love this scrolling thing, by the way. But you know, if you lose it, it's big deal. It's on to the next one, but you're not blowing out a $5,000 account, a $10,000 account, right? So highly recommended. Use Pulcini 50 for any sale you got, and you will get the discount. But I couldn't. You guys don't know what a gift that is to have that available to you, or a trading firm. You got a trading firm that wants to back you, even better. But you know what, you can use Apex to come up with a trading history of your stats and everything else. If you want to practice this stuff and get great at it, and then you can go. Then you can approach anyone you want, or you get paid and then just open up your own account then if you want, right? So, no brainer in my opinion. That's the one I back. There's a million of them out there now. That's the best one I've seen. That's why I use it. If anything ever happens on the negative side with them, I'll be the first to tell you guys. All right, let's see what's going on here. It's just a lot of green stuff. So ES still has not validated this particular event, and it still has not retested that, so nothing for me to do. All I really got on right now is the Russell Longs. Then they continue to kind of just bounce around here. All right, there. All right, I guess we'll take a look at wheat. A lot of activity in there. I got about 6 minutes, so you got questions, throw them in the YouTube, please. Nothing in bonds today. See what's going on in here. Well, I can't believe this hit an ATR and came back to the zone. That's a real surprise. Not. So I do recommend, if you're going to do the ATR reversion trading grains, that the 3 is the best. But you see the ones work. Actually, they might not have got to the 1, did it? No, missed the 1 right now. But it's just the same pattern, guys. They just suck back to these zones like magnets. It's crazy. It's just absolutely crazy. All right, so step 1, here's the event. Oh, no, that was the 1. I take that back. The 1 was way up here. This was the 2. So the 1 just worked. You didn't get stopped out. So the 1, here's the 1. See right there? I'm sure it's 34.50. Based on the ATR, so on and so forth. Your stop was down here. Never got stopped out. Back to the zone. So this is a qualification for my bark and lick trades. As long as algo guy's bearish, I can take barks and licks no matter where we're at. That's the whole point. It's a blind ATR retest confirm, meaning blind. I don't care where these happen. I will take that trade. Then I have other strategies that I have to have, you know, they're my important areas. This one, because I know that the edge is inherent in these volume events. So I want to be participating even if it's not an important area. You know what I mean? You get me? Let's see here. Algo guy's bearish. And this looks like a red rum, right? But it was a buy ice, but it did the ATR retest, so we'll go over that. But now I got 3 different strategies I can put on here in wheat short. We got the ATR retest. If it comes back, I'm short at 34. I could put on 3. Algo guy's bearish. Red rum. The volume event was in the red ribbon. It did the retest. If it was sell ice in the red ribbon, I could take it aggressively, meaning first move out. It was buy ice, so I demand that. So 34, I will put on 3. Just take a quick look at my other areas. So I got bark, lick, and red rum. This looks like it was an Izzy as well. Just in front of this Izzy zone, I'm fine with it. So you had broken ice event into this bottom of the zone, and it keeps failing. So I got that. If it comes back, so now I got 4 different strategies I can put on. Let's go ahead and see if we can make it 5. Maybe 6. Let's see what we got. Wheat. So you got to refresh these new lugs. So nothing to do on the lugs. Nothing to do on market profile composite. We're right in the middle of this guy. These need to be merged. So here's a good example of merging 2 days. Right. So I merge these and make a composite. These are these blue rectangles. Right. Very powerful. So when value areas, meaning 70% of the trade for that day, overlaps the prior day by at least 50% of that day. That was almost 100%. probably 70%, 80% of this day overlap that day. I merge them together, and they are very, very powerful areas, the tops and bottoms, and the points of control, meaning the most traded price. That's that middle line. So there you go, and you see it lines up perfectly with this. What I could possibly do here too is merge all of these together because they're all composites. So you can see this was the first composite. That was outside of that one. Now that one overlapped that one. You could merge them all and talk about a powerful area. This is probably like, this goes back to end of July, right? So I'll keep it right now just because I like, you can see the market is respecting this, the bottom of this guy and the top of this guy, right? So you want to pay attention what happens here, but I'm at the end of the day today, I'm going to merge all three of those. And that's going to be a whopper composite here. Let's just look at what this looks like first. I know the bottom of this is 33, so this is what this would look like. It may be the same area too. Let's see. Here. Here. All right, so I'll keep that. You can see it, now it's bouncing off the top of this guy, right? So this is today's trade. I'm going to get rid of this. Actually, what I'll do here is this. Come on. We got a note auction too, and those have been having an effect on the equities too, so heads up on that. You heard my financial juice guy talking. So that's that. Get rid of that. There you go. Very, very, very powerful area no matter what happens here. It's not a pick for me because the volume amount was here, but if you got a volume of it up there, you can fade it. If it breaks out, you can go along it. Extremely important how this market moves out of this guy. But in the meantime, I can put on Bark, Lick, Red Rum, and Izzy off of this event. If it comes back, I'm not sure yet. If it comes back to 34, I will put on those strategies. Let me get this in here while I'm still on the webinar. And this is wheat. All right, that's working. All right, one last look. We're at the time. Got questions? Last chance to ask them. Russell, remember I trailed my stop to this. There was nothing for me to short here. No, wait, no, there's an Izzy short, so I'm going to flip out of my Izzy long and go Izzy short here. It's almost filled. I got to make sure I change my entry here because it's changed. 42.9. So remember, I'm getting out of my Izzy and pick longs. Remember, I got out of some anyway up here. Actually, it was over here. New event, trail my stop to that. I'll be out of those, and I'm going to go short Izzy. About to get filled on that. So in ES, this is a retest of this first zone. It did hit the ATR. That's what it was at the time. Sorry, right there. Take that back. That was right here. It cuts off when you get a new event, right? I didn't combine these. You could have combined them, but I didn't because they were far enough apart. I mean, you're talking 20 minutes apart, right? ATR, retest, right here. This moves out of here. This was my old entry, was right here. So I could go long Barks and Licks off of this, and then I could trail my stop to that, right? It was here. I can move it up to here. So this comes back out. I'm going to go Bark and Lick, 58, sorry, this one here, whatever price that is. That is 57.50. Bark and Lick. Let's just make sure there's liquidity up here. You got that band. I wouldn't do that one because it's right next to my entry. I'm not seeing anything liquidity-wise here. So I'll just put on the Bark trade if that comes back. If it doesn't, this trade is still alive for a short off of this event. See what I'm saying? Because this never got up to the ATR. So if it does this will be bullish then too because I'll be filled up here. But the point is, I could still take shorts off of this. We had an Izzy short working there, right? So if this fails, I'll still be short my Izzy. There's your Izzy zone. If it moves back out of here, I'm going to take a big Bark long. And I said, what, 57.50. And I could put on 8. Mr. Bark, and I just shorted, I'm short Russell now. Izzy. Any questions? Throw them in. All right, what did I say? 57.50. All right, that's working. If I get filled on that, then I'm going to, because that'll be touching the ATR line anyway for this event, and then my short's canceled. I got filled on my Russell short. short that, stops up here, 2154.2, based off of that event. I'm forcing it to come all the way back, get through the event, push an ATR out, and then I'll say, Uncle, I'm wrong. Other than that, I let that work. And I will definitely watch all this sell ice to get out of some on a prior event and then spot gamma level. Right? And then on NASDAQ, if we get one of these, I'm going to put on Bark and Lick here too. I don't have a lick. I'm not going to put on Lick and ES, but I put on Bark and Lick here. Right? So waiting for that. Actually, I think that already happened. Did it not? You know, if you don't want to like zoom in, Bookmap Bob will tell you if it retested, and it's in the text. Let's see. No, it validated. It has not officially retested, meaning it has not come back to this line here. This is just 10% of an ATR in front of the zone. Doesn't have to touch the exact zone. But if it does, moves back out, I will put on Barks and Licks long in NASDAQ. So I've got some different strategies working here depending on how these move out of these areas. I'm already short Russell. All right, one quick look at the questions. If you got any, no questions. All right, I guess I'm just that great of an educator. All right, guys, I do this every day, twice a day most days. If it's decent trade in the afternoon, in my trade room, come on over and learn how to trade correctly with the best edge on the planet, in my opinion. All right, I'll see you guys next Thursday. Thank you.